new beat to your drum. Achieve success with global.media.com and celebrate it with or without champagne or
Yes, hello, hello, hello. Happy Friday. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are joining us from all over the world. We say a big thank you to you and welcome to another edition of our Positivity live stream. Today for me, it's always an exciting day. It's always an important day. Why? Because it's a day of the week which we've set aside Friday. Good morning. To be able to share, to inspire more people on the power of positivity and how it can be able to impact the life of others. So, for as many persons who are joining for the very first time, I say a big welcome to you and thank you so much. Yes, I can already see Uncle Mike in the comment section. Uncle Mike is saying, yes, first live comment. Of course, it's the first comment we are seeing here today. So very important who you allow in your inner cycle. This is something I promised I would do for myself in 2026. Yes, very profound, Uncle Mike. Thank you so much for being intentional about the people you allow into your cycle. All right, Christy, thank you so much. Christy, all the way from Florida, is joining us. Christy, happy Friday. Thank you so much for being here with us. We have Paul Clayton in the building. Yes, Mr. Paul, happy Friday and welcome to our Positivity live stream. For those of us who are joining us, if you are here, please drop a comment. Tell us where you are joining us from so that we can be able to shout you out and let the world know that you are here with us. All right, we have Sherry Akuri all the way from Kenya. Sherry, thank you so much. Say greetings, everyone. We appreciate you. It's so good to be here. When I look into the comment, I see familiar faces. It gets me excited. It gets me so happy. Why? Because I know that my friends are here, my colleagues are here, people who I can call and who I can reach out to at any time. They are here with me. Yes, we have Laven in the building. Laven said hello from Philadelphia. Thank you so much, Laven, for being here with us. Thank you. We appreciate you so much. Yes, Chrissy is saying happy Friday. Now, let me throw a question to everyone. How was your week? Tell us in the comment section, how was your week? Let us know. How was your week? How has it been? You know, and we are very excited to hear about it. And no matter how the week has been, for the fact that you are here with us today, I tell you it's going to be a great end of the week and a splendid weekend. Why? Because what we bring in here is intentional positivity, not just for ourselves, but to be able to inspire other people out there in the world. Because I tell you, every one of us, we need that transformative power of positivity and how much he can do for you. Yes, happy Friday. Glad to be here from California. Rosemary Johnson, thank you so much for being here with us. We appreciate you and happy Friday to you. Now, in today's conversation, it's very important. It's something that we all can resonate with. It's something that we all can flow with. Why? Because he said, who is in your cycle? Evaluating the quality of the people around you. Evaluate the quality of the people in your cycle or the people in your corner. Because at the end of the day, it's not about the multitude of people. It's not about having hundreds of people around you. In fact, having 100 people in your cycle is already a crowd. It's already too much. But for example, you are okay. It is not about the quantity of people, but it's about the quality of the persons around you. These are the people that shape on your life. These are the people that can make or break you. These are the people that can either elevate you or push you downward. So it's going to be an impactful conversation today. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, we have Jibin Joseph. Thank you so much. He said, a day of lots of planning and learning. Wow, amazing. We are all learners, we are all planners, and it's so good for you to be able to tell us about your day. We appreciate you so much, Jibin. Thank you for being part of this conversation. Yes, our brother, Mr. Rian, is in the building. Rian is saying, so cool. I love this. Thank you so much for being our supporter. Thank you so much for always showing up for us. We truly appreciate you for being here with us. Jibin said, Oh, a week full of planning and learning. Oh, I think that came up back again. Thank you so much. He said, Happy Friday. But I thought you would be interested in engaging more with our community here if you like. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Rian, for sharing your community in the comment section. We appreciate you. If there's one thing we do here, we support each other, we support ourselves. So it does not matter who you are, it does not matter where you're from, it's a place where we all can be supported. So if you're on LinkedIn, can you go into the page, this event page, you're going to see a Ryan's comment in there. Feel free, be part of the community, engage and support, because it's about supporting each other. And if you're not, you can quickly, the link is on the screen. Just go and copy it into your browser. You will be able to be part of the conversation. I know you said, wow, it's Zion, you're the only person on the screen today. Of course, for now, I'm the only person on the screen. I'm sure my co-hosts are going to be joining us today. And it's for me, it's always exciting to be in a space with them, to be in a place where we tend to have different conversation. And one thing we also love about this conversation is it's an open floor for anybody. You want to be part of the stage, you want to share with us how you are able to evaluate the people in your cycle, how you are able to choose the people in your corner, and how has that impacted your life? How has it impacted your business? How has it impacted your relationship? How has it also impacted your finances? Because at the end of the day, the people in your cycle can also be a determinant factor how much you can grow financially. Because they play a whole role, a large role in making you be who you are and who you are going to become. So if there's anyone out there you want to be part of the conversation, you want to share with us how you have been able to do this, the link is in the comment section already. Yes, go to the event page on LinkedIn. You can actually find the comments and the link to the event stage where you can come in to be able to share your story, to be able to impact others. Now, the reason why we specifically want to also hear from you and hear from other people's perspective is because as our faces are different, so is our stories different. Your stories are unique, my stories are unique, and the ability for us to be able to share the story so as more persons can get to learn, more persons can get wiser, they can have to, they don't have to make the mistakes we've made, but they have to learn the lessons we learned, goes a long way to help us inspire more people and, push people out there to be able to embrace their life and be able to make the impact we want to make. Yes, we have Mr. Annie with us on stage already. Okay. I'm sure he's not ready, but it's gonna join us. So, like I was saying, if you want to be part of the conversation, feel free join in here because the goal of this conversation or this event always is to be able to bring in that energy, to be able to bring in that positivity, to inspire people out there in the world. Whatever it is that you have gone through as a person, there are thousands, millions of people right now on this planet who are going through it already. And with your story, they will be inspired. With your story, they will be encouraged. With your story, they will find faith to keep living their life. So do not hold back. Do not say, "Oh, I don't want to come up on stage." Feel free. Maybe you are in a place where you cannot put on your camera. It's okay. As long as we can hear your voice, you can put off your camera and your voice can be able to inspire more people out there. It's what we are after so that we can be able to bring this positivity. I told you, positivity in this time and season is not negotiable. Yes, people go through so much, but the ability for us to be a beacon of light, to be a beacon of faith and hope, to inspire other people, it's priceless. You might not know how much people needs it until they hear it. You might not know how much your word means to people until you say it to them. Then you realize that, wow, somebody needed to hear what I have to say today. So feel free, join us. We appreciate it. Before we dive in fully into the conversation, yes, we're going to shout out more comments. We're shouting out people because you are the MVP. You make this event what it is. You show up here with us, and we want to amplify you. We want more people to see you. We want, the world to know that you are here with us. That's why we take out this time to celebrate the MVPs in the building. So keep dropping the comments, invite your friends, share this event link. If there's somebody that needs to hear this and you are aware, please feel free to share with them. Let them come in here to learn from our experiences, from our stories, from our insights on how to intentionally find the right people in your cycle, how to evaluate the quality of the people in your corner. His Uncle Mike says, I met Ron Watts, a world-renowned photographer for whom I wrote the track Lens, a tribute to Ron. Well, thank you so much, Uncle Mike, for all you do, for always inspiring us. Orion says, what an amazing person Zion is. Wow. Thank you so much for your kind words. This Orion, we appreciate you. And it means a whole lot to us coming from you. Yes. Awesome. Thank you so much, Rose, for shouting at Uncle Mike and saying awesome. Amazing. So much going on. And I know Mr. Annie is in the building. For those who don't know me, my name is Zion Inokeru. As you can see on your screen, Mr. Positive Energy, a man who is on a mission to spread positivity to every corners of the earth, one person at a time. For me, I believe so much in the power of positive collaboration and a positive community because at the end of the day, together we can do so much more. I'm a positivity coach and mentor. I help people embrace positivity intentionally. And not just adults, we also help children because we believe that the secret for us to have more adults who are positive is to raise more positive children. Even the Bible says, train up a child in the way they should grow. And when they are old, they will not depart from it. So when we train the children in positivity, it has a ripple effect in having more positive adults as they grow. So as we reach out to adults and intentionally coach and teach them on how to embrace positivity, we're also doing that with kids, collaborating with organizations to make this possible. And for anyone out there, you need to embrace positivity intentionally. You need someone to hold you accountable because positivity is beyond the word, it's beyond a phrase, it's beyond a caption, it's a life that we must be intentional to choose to embrace every day of our life because every day comes with its own challenges. But having somebody to hold you accountable, to remind you of the power to be able to be positive, it's non negotiable. And I also host online events just like this. So you have a value you're giving, you have a message, you want to reach out to more people, you want to make more impact, you want people to hear what you say, feel free, reach out. Let's help you put this event together to inspire more people, to reach out to more people all over the world. Because one thing we do here is we are looking at a global impact, not just geographical, not just about continent or about country, but everyone around the world being able to be impacted with the power of positivity and your message that you need to share with the world. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here with us. Before we shout out more people, I'm honored to be able to bring Mr. Eni on stage so that he can be able to introduce himself, tell us what he does, and how he's able to help people in the way he's doing. So, Mr. Eni, are you ready? Yes,
Dizzy,
he's
I'm
ready.
always ready. How are you?
I'm so blessed. I'm so good. I'm so glad you're here with us today, Mr. Eni. Please
Nice.
tell the house
I suddenly
who
got
are
my
you.
son's driving lessons to do.
Ooh.
He comes home from school, so I have to go driving lesson. And I'm a few minutes the wrong side today. So last week I was just about on time, right?
Yeah,
Now, great to be here. Always great to be here. Of course, I see our good friends. How you doing, Linda? How you doing, Christy? See, Paul's just joined. Paul talks. The Go Get It University. It's about doing, right? It's about doing.
yeah,
Life's not about just thinking positivity, of course, but unless we actually take action, that positivity doesn't count for much, right?
yeah.
Christy, you're here as well. Welcome. I'm meeting Christy properly on Monday. I do see you, Paul. So I mentioned you. I see Miss Yolanda's here. Yolanda's looking for me. Yolanda, you found me. No. In terms of what I do, so Yolanda's book is next on my list. We're just about to finish it off and publish it in the next week or so. Her birthday is the 17th. We have to get very close. So I work with people to obviously write the book, publish the book, and sell their books. Now, I think part of the conversation today, Mrs. Z, is that we need people who build us up, who can help us get to the next level, right? Now, your circle, the people in your circle should be there to. Now we raise each other. Now that means, again, doing what it takes to do more every day. Can you do more? Can you do better? In business, unless you do better and serve better, create better
Sure.
solutions. Why would people want to deal with you, right? And so now they can go somewhere else, because if we stay still, then the competition comes past us, right? So in a positive mindset world, as Mrs. Z said, it's a lifestyle. We have to carry on doing, improving constantly, serving better, serving more. The people that help us do that is part of they're the ones I want to hang around with. And Miss Yolanda is one of those for sure, right? But of course, as a service, I must also improve my business every day. So our latest addition, Z, is we now help authors to raise the money to fund their book. So I spoke to someone, one of my ambitious African authors, right? Today, and so we're going to meet the next few days to start this Kickstarter campaign to try to fund her book. And of course, it gives us more readers as well. But of course, I'll tell you more about what I do, how I do it, when we get to the bits of sharing properly, right? Happy Friday, Mrs. Z. Says Christy. How you doing, Paul? I'm glad you're here. So the quality of your circle, begins with you. I tell you, isn't that so important? Work? Isn't that so important? We'll come back to that in a second. Jay, I see you too.
Yeah.
I'll never forget anyone we'll see. If we've missed you, please do forgive. Say it's an oversight. We'll try and put it right before we go, right? Mrs. Z, it's a very important topic today, as always, right? So
Yes.
I'll let you
Yes.
kick off, I guess, the conversation. Like you said, look, you're welcome to join the studio to share with us. The link is in the comment section. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Now, it's not just hear your thoughts. If we go back to what Mike was saying just now, it begins with you, right? So how are people seeing you in your circle? Who are you inspiring? Who are you encouraging? Who are you building up? Who are you lifting up? That's on all of us, right? So, come and share with us. Come and tell people, what works for you. And that's what we create a bigger, better circle as well. Let me welcome, so Miss Lisa is here as well. So Lisa, our menopause genius, glad you're here. Happy Friday to you too. Mrs. Z, I'll stop talking now. I'll pass it to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Eddie. Thank you. We appreciate you. Yes. For those who want to join us on stage, this is the link to the backstage. We can bring you up so that you can be able to share with us, to inspire more people with your story. Like I said, everyone has a unique story. Now, back to the conversation today. Who is in your corner? And I think it's a reality check and a question that most of us, especially entrepreneurs, need to ask ourselves. Who is in your corner? Picture a corner. A corner is not so wide. A corner, just picture a corner of your house. A corner of your house is a very small space. So it's not the sitting room, it's not the bedroom, but it's a very small space in your house, which simply means it can only contain few people. It can only contain just a few, not the crowd, not the multitude, but a few people. That's why the question is, who is in your corner? Who are the few people in your life? Who are those important people in your life that is in your corner? In your corner simply means that are close to you and that you can vouch for and they can vouch for you, that you can call at any time, they can call you, and you can stand for them and they can stand for you. Now, it's important we know because a lot of us have been there before where we just live our life and we're thinking everybody is for you. That's a big lie. Everybody is not for you. The earlier you are able to filter the people that are for you, the easier the journey becomes. The easier it is for you to be able to have a direction of where you are going and the people that is actually going with you in that direction. Like I said, not everybody is for you. And we need to ask ourselves, who is in your corner? So you can just take a pen right now and you can list five, just like let's say five people. Let's not go too far. Just list five people who you can boldly say, these are the people in my corner. I'll give us 1 minute to do that. So that we can let's be intentional. So it's not just if I say who is in your corner and we are moving away. No, the whole purpose of this conversation is to bring an intentionality into us. So you can write, or maybe you are typing on your phone or your notepad, wherever it is. Just list out the five people in your corner. Yes. So I have to take a pause so that it can sink in and people can actually be intentional about it. Because at the end of the day, it's not about, oh, I have people in my corner, but can you explicitly name these people who are in your corner? Can you actually say, this person is in my corner, this person is in my corner, without having to think about a second and say, is this person really in my corner? Or is this person not really in my corner? Because as you move forward in life, there is need for us to be intentional. My mentor said 3 years ago, he said, your association determines your destination. It simply means the kind of people that you have in your corner determines where you're going to land at the end of the day, determines where you're going at the end of the day. And the other part of this topic is evaluating the quality of your cycle. And the emphasis for me is on the quality. So the people you've named, the five people, do they have the quality to be in your cycle? Are there some people you can boldly say, oh, this is somebody I can vouch and say this is in my cycle? Are there people you can say, oh, this person, when it comes to business, this person is my cycle. When it comes to, life, relationship, these are the people in my cycle. Because it's now time for us to begin to choose so that we don't pack, vessels. We don't carry load that is not supposed to be there, that is causing some distractions in our life. For me, when I look at the quality of people in my circle, I used to be this, oh, everybody's for me kind of a person. But at the end of the day, it was not leading anywhere it should have led to. It was not pushing me and propelling me to become the person I am wanting to become. So from the moment I began to be intentional about the people in my circle, it really, really changed my life. That's why we are bringing this conversation. So who is my circle and how do I evaluate the quality of these people? So for me, one of the things I look for is the people in my cycle. Do they have the kind of mindset that I have? For me, I'm a positive person. I'm very intentional about positivity. Everything I do every day is revolving around the power of positivity. So one of the things that is very common, that is a common denominator for the people who are in my circle, that these people are also always intentional about being positive. So as much as we are living life, we are business people, we are entrepreneurs, if there's one thing that is very common, it's these people have the same mindset. Our energy are flowing in the same direction. Our thoughts, it's more alike. Our reasoning is more alike. For me, this has really helped me so much to be built, to be grounded, and to grow tremendously in my journey as an entrepreneur. Being intentional about the positive mindset of the people around me. Now, when I talk about being positive, this is not fake positivity. It's not people who are faking it or who are trying to act it. No, so it's not about acting. Like I said earlier in my conversation, that positivity has become a lifestyle for me. So having those people who are really very, very intentional about what it means to stay positive. Of course, life has its own challenges. Life has its ups and downs. People go through difficult seasons, difficult times. But then these are people who understand that it doesn't matter the difficult times we are. It doesn't matter the challenges you are facing in businesses, in relationship, in finances, or otherwise. There is a constant factor, which is always seeing the lessons to be learned, always seeing the growth, the positivity in every situation that we find ourselves. So for me, These are people that are very, very intentional about. And secondly, beyond just having a positive mindset, I'm a Christian. I'm always proud to say this. I'm a believer. I believe in God. I believe in the Lord Jesus Christ. For me, one of the things that is very common with the people in my cycle, because it's people who trust God. We live in a time and in a season where people put God as last, or God factor is not important to them. For me, if there's one way that I evaluate my cycle, that I evaluate the people in my corner, it's they trust God. Not just trust God, they love God as well. Because for me, it's not negotiable. It's not something I can do away with that. Because at the end of the day, if there's something I've learned, I'm learning again and again, with the people in my cycle, is this. Every other thing we know will fail, definitely. There are days the government will disappoint you, the economy will fail you, there are days the business will fail you, the collaborations, the partnership will fail. Every other thing have their variables. They change from time to time. But if there's one thing that has remained constant, for me as a person, is the God factor that never changes. So for me, it's a criteria for me to evaluate the people in my cycle. As much as they have a positive mindset, they are able to, they love God, they trust God, and they always depend on God. For me, that has been something that has really changed my life, because at the end of the day, like I said, having the God factor is the most important factor for me and for my cycle. We always go back to God. There are days that, okay, you've applied the principles, you've done all you know how to do, you brainstorm, and at the end of the day, you just see that, man, things are not just going the way you want it to go. But then having the God factor just lets you know that, whoa, okay, all things are working around for my good. And at the end of the day, these are going to go well for me. So for me, those two factors are very, very important in evaluating my cycle. And secondly, the values that people uphold, the values that I uphold, the habits that I practice every day are something I look out for in evaluating, the people in my cycle. For me, I'm people oriented. Yes. One of my values to be people oriented. I love people, supporting people, helping people. So, because it's not a matter of being selfish, it's not a matter of being self-centered. As much as we are growing, or we are growing our business, we are growing ourselves, at the end of the day, the whole essence of doing what we do is the ability for us to be able to impact others. So, one of the way that I have been able to critically evaluate and analyze my cycle is that these people in my cycle, they are also about others. They are about people. They are about making impact. It's about, reaching out to more people. From your success, from your greatness, from your attaining, from your becoming as an entrepreneur, you are using your becoming not just for the sake of living in leisure in quotes, or living the extravagant life. No, but also using where you are, the impact you've made, the greatness you've attained, the success you've achieved, to also to be able to inspire other people, to support other people, to help other people. So for me, this value is very, very important. It's about the people in my cycle having this same mindset to know what, at the end of the day, what really brings the satisfaction in your achievements, in your success, is the fact that what you've achieved or what you've attained is able to also impact other people in your cycle. You are able to raise other people. One thing I've learned is the apex of leadership is not just to be able to, lead, no, but to be able to also raise people who can eventually turn out much even better than you are, from your teaching, from your lessons. So for me, one of the ways I evaluate my cycle and allow people very close to me, these people cycle, is this person people oriented, or this person is all about them. It's all about me, myself, and I. Because at the end of the day, when it's about me, myself, and I, there comes scarcity mindset. Everything you are doing is revolving around just you. But if it's about people, there's always this growth mindset to know, okay, you know what? I'm successful. Why can I use this success to impact other people? How can I use this achievement to be able to transform the life of other people? Because at the end of the day, every day is an opportunity for us to be able to impact and inspire others. Lastly, I will end with this love. I spoke about, having being people oriented, but love, it's one thing I am very concerned about being loving and being a kind person. There are some people who, when it comes to business, they are up there. When it comes to, the journey as an entrepreneur, they are up there. But then when it comes to showing kindness and just being kind to other people and even to themselves, they find it difficult. A lot of entrepreneurs, they are not kind to ourselves. How long have you how often have you when last did you appreciate yourself? Did you spoil yourself? My friend will always say spoil yourself. And looking at yourself inwardly and appreciating yourself, appreciating who you are, loving yourself, because it is from loving yourself you can be able to love other persons. It is from being kind to yourself that you can be able to be kind to other people. So for me, when it comes to having people in my cycle, I look at how much do these people love themselves, because when you love yourself, it's just puts you in a place where you're not in a competition with other people. You're not trying to be like other people, but you're trying to be yourself and the best version of yourself 1% every day. So for me, I look at for how much do you love yourself? How much do you care about yourself? A lot of people will neglect ourselves. We don't pay attention to ourselves. But at the end of the day, for you, the ability for you to pay attention to people, to love people, to be kind to people, it's first being kind to yourself, be loving to yourself, because it's an inward, outward transformation. It is how much love you show for yourself will determine how much love you can be able to show to other person. So for me, these are some of the few things I look at for when it comes to evaluating my cycle and having people in my corners. And I believe that we have a lot of people to share with us today. So, because like I said before, as my face is different, your face is different. So also are the things we look at for in having people in our corner or evaluating the quality of our cycle differ. So I cannot wait to hear from us and to be able to be inspired from your own story and from your own take. So in the meantime, thank you so much for listening. And I'm going to pass the mic to Mr. Annie so he can share with us, or I think we have other persons with us on stage already who can be able to be part of the conversation.
Of course, Mr. Mike, come back. I love to hear Mike's insights. Come back, Mr. Mike. Uncle Mike, as you
Mm.
call him. Rosemary, welcome. I don't think we've met, but welcome. Great to have you here. So, Uncle Jay, our storytelling genius. Oh, Laverne. Cool, Laverne. It's been a long time. So the people in my corner are God fearing, and they help to guide me, encourage me, listen to, and genuinely want to see me succeed. And stand
Mhm.
by me through challenges and celebrate my wins. I tell you. There's a lot of people around you, Laverne. No wonder you're doing so well. Look, now Laverne has a couple of books out, and a book and a workbook. So do connect with her. She does many videos, especially on YouTube, and of course she posts videos on LinkedIn as well. But to say definitely that's a good way to think of who you want around you, right?
Yes.
Thank you, Laverne. Great to see you. So I haven't seen you for a while. Oh, have I missed anyone? I'm trying not to miss anyone, right?
No,
Uh,
no, I think
Jay,
everybody's.
oh, okay. Now Jay says trust must be considered and honesty must be respected. So
Respected.
true, right? So true. Now,
Thank you.
you can't be friends with, so you can't hang out with people that that you don't trust. I agree with that entirely. Dr. Roxana, welcome, 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 welcome. This is my time to tell you, Mr. Z. We're gonna do a reunion of the lessons we learned from COVID anthology. So we're gonna come
Oh,
together, the co-authors, and do an event or
thank
two. So that's Dr. Roxana's idea, and I think that Margaret's up for it. I'm up for it. I'm sure you're up for it too. We'll work it out. We'll work it out.
you.
Look, when we have amazing guests on stage, I always give the guests a chance to speak
Yeah,
first. Even though Mr. Z has
yeah.
covered everything, by the way, there's nothing more. He said it. He said it all, right? I'm joking. We always have something more to get from our personal experience, right? Let's go to Uncle Mike because he was here first and then he fell off. I imagine he fell off. The way he's back
Yeah,
again. Let's go to
there's
Uncle
a
Mike.
video.
Let's come to you, Paul. So, Uncle Mike, the mic is yours. Too many mics in there, right?
Thank
Go for
you.
it.
First of all, and he did steal most of my thunder, as he does because he's just so full of wisdom. And again, I'm going to thank you for these Friday positivity shows. I do so need them. And as I mentioned, the quality of our circle really begins with us. And what I mean by that is, I think we have to do some analysis as to what and who we want to interact with. And Zion has a very clear picture of what and who he wants, and what he considers a quality circle. And I think that's important. I also think that we have to kind of have a very good picture of ourselves, as he said, love ourselves, not in a narcissistic way, because I don't really think we can both be a quality or part of a quality circle and attract the quality circle that we want to attract if we are not sure of ourselves in a very positive way. And for me, that also happens to be a relationship with the creator. Um, and I've come to this kind of more recently is that if we're not aligned from that perspective, it's unrealistic. And I had to come to this, it's hard-won wisdom. It's unrealistic for us to expect that from others. In other words, if you are not believing in a Judeo-Christian tradition, and I am, I'm going to act in a given way. I am going to want to have people like that in my circle. It doesn't mean that I can't have anyone in my circle like that. And I do want to bring up the concept of what I call opponent processing. But I don't know if that can be someone in your inner circle. I think maybe you want to have someone like that to sort of expand or to test your echo chambers. Because I think also sometimes we can kind of get stuck in our echo chambers. So I always want to be reaching out to people. And I think lastly, for me, it's also this concept of being a conduit for the creator, in that it's not really, I mean, yes, it's me and my agency, but it's also me and the creator reaching out. And so that's where, like in 26, I basically said, I really want to focus on bringing people into my inner circle that are positive, that are believers, and that we can collaborate and work together. And Zion mentioned this a little bit, is that if you have a scarcity mindset, if business or life even is a zero sum game, then I'm probably not going to mesh or align with you very well, because I really want to live in abundance. I want to work on solutions together. If there's ways that we can work together where it's win-win, that's the people that I want to attract and have in my inner circle. And I think the other thing, which I mentioned, that I just met Ron Wyatt. I think there is some level of and I was fighting against this, but I'm sort of falling into this idea that some amount of your inner circle has to be face to face. Unfortunately, because I think there's just something, there's chemical, spiritual, whatever. Although I think we're a lot more connected than we think. That I think that some of those folks have to be face to face, so that you can give them hugs. I mean, I really want to give Zion a hug. Can't do that virtually. And it's just something different. Like if I can physically give him a hug, it just changes the dynamic. And I think last thing I'm going to say is, I think that as we process life, as we go through life, as we are obedient and in relationship with the creator, we will have seasons where people will come in and out of our lives. Now, hopefully we have again that sort of inner circle, and then there's maybe the next circle out that adjusts. I would hope that for the most part, unless they move on uh, through the veil, that probably our inner circle should remain relatively stable. That's what I got for you this Friday. God bless all of you, both on stage and in the comment section.
God bless you too, my friend. God bless you too. Thank you so much. There's a lot there packed into your share, Mike. There's a lot there. Look, of course, I think the key thing for me is the alignment part. Why would you want to give time to people who make you feel bad, who make you feel odd, who make you feel icky? Whatever that is, right? I'm saying no. We have to be in alignment. No, we have to be. You know, maybe it's my way of saying they have to bring you. People have to bring the people in your circle have to bring you joy. But no, but anyone who makes us feel bad, Mike, I don't think it has anywhere, and that say you mentioned the win-win and the collaboration as your criteria, for example. I'm saying those are good ones, right? Who wants to be friends with someone with people who don't want to collaborate with you, who think we're too dumb, who think we're not good enough, we're not big enough, we're not important. Who wants to do any of that? Look, we may. Let me talk about the echo chamber thing first. I think that's an important one in this day and age. We tend to migrate to people who can sound like us, who can have the same thoughts as us. The group think is called in business, right? Group think, it's a problem because when there's group think, no one's honest.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, yes, 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 yes. You're great, of course. Rock on, right? And that's just dishonest half the time. Look, we don't want echo chambers. We don't want yes people. But I think my point is, it's a fine line between being open to honest feedback, honest thoughts, honest ideas from those around you. But a lot of people, don't do that. They migrate to where they hear the same thing, and when you do that, all you hear is the same thing. Nothing changes, right? You don't face reality. Is what is the point. I said, look, Mike's point about face to face. Let me put it this way. Look, I know what you mean, Mike. Now, when I was networking, say I built my business on networking. I'm sure many of us understand it's face-to-face networking, going to go and meet other business owners, being in the same space as them, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or whatever networking you're doing. I'm saying there's a difference qualitatively, as Mike said. When you shake someone's hand, is different. You feel like you know them more. I get that bit, Mike. But look, it's 2026, and I fear we're gonna have to cope with Zoom or what's it called? The FaceTime to build relationships these days. We're just gonna have to, right? Like I say, look, I'm coming to US on the 28th of July, 28th of July. I'm going to, where am I going? JFK in New York, and then Miami. If any of my American friends want to come and meet me, because I have a long stopover on both times, you're welcome. If you're near any of those places, let's talk. I would love to meet you in person. Otherwise,
I live in New Jersey, man.
Is that good or bad? That normally sounds bad.
Well, JFK sucks, but let's talk.
We'll talk. I'd love to meet you in person. But like I said, I think we're going to have to get used to doing things online. Much like years ago, the village had to move to phone calls. Before that, there were letters. I'm saying we've had to move how we do relationships. It can't all be face to face because we're more dispersed and people are just busier, right? So we have to use technology and different ways to keep in touch. And on that point, I will say, look, when it comes to the people who I truly have time for, let's say my sisters, right? If I think, let me call you, I will call you. If I think that I haven't spoken to you for a couple of days, for a week, I will call you. That's what friends do, right? I'm saying, let's be the people who don't hide behind DMs, don't hide behind messages, don't hide behind text messages. We actually do have that physical contact Mike's talking about. Anyway, Mike, there's a lot in there, my friend. So I'm sure hopefully you add some more to our conversation as we go. I love what Rosemary says. She says, "Such a great question. I really ask myself, who's in my corner?
Say for
As
me.
outgoing as I am, and as many people as I know, I only have five in business and 3.5 in my personal life in my corner. 3.5? Like, it's like 2.4 kids. What's the
What's a
point?
point five? I don't know what a point five of a person is.
That's the point. That's the point I'm
But
making, Mike. I have no
but
idea.
but but Zion made a good point. I think that our inner circle probably shouldn't be that large. I
Yeah,
I
I
think
agree.
Yes,
it's the quality,
yes,
it's not the quantity. It's the
exactly.
trustworthiness. It's our
Yes.
ability to reach out. And I just wanted to say this before I forget because I'm old. Um, that it's okay for our inner circle to challenge us as
Yeah.
long as we know, and this is where trust is so important,
Mm.
as long as we know that that challenge is in love, and I'm going to keep on bringing up love, but
Yeah.
that it's in love and that it's for our good, because you can call it tough love, you can call it whatever you want. And I think
Mhm,
about like my kids when I'm doing this, it's like sometimes it can be a hard truth,
Mm.
and but again, if we already have that relationship, and Annie, I did want to say, I'm not saying it all has to be in person, but I just think there's a depth of in person
Yeah.
that if we can manage it
Mm.
on occasion, and then of course then we
I
sort
agree.
of bridge it with online, that's fine. But
I agree.
uh, the other thing is time.
Mm.
Uh,
yeah.
After my quad bypass, it's all about right now. I'm investing in you, gentlemen, and everyone that's in the thing, because I don't know what tomorrow brings. So I'm investing Friday at 2:51 my time
Mm.
in this on this stage and in this group, um, because I want to be here and I want to be part of the conversation to uplift everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. And you do that every day of the week, my friend.
Mhm,
And for that, we're grateful. Really, I mean that sincerely. Look,
exactly.
I think your point to Rosemary was we don't have many. No one has many friends, many genuine bona fide friends. No one. I don't. I mean, look, I think if you have one person that you can truly call, you know, on your side. This is why marriages and relationships mean so much to us.
Mhm,
Your husband, your wife is your bestie at best of times. And mine is anyway. You know what I'm saying? That's almost enough. Of course, then you have kids who hopefully love you as much, unconditionally. No guarantee of that one. But no, but we'll take it. I'm saying, very few people have a big circle of friends, and again, I think the criteria, as Zion says, is our point today. How do you evaluate them?
mhm,
When you truly evaluate, I think basically, even if we go with Mike's standard of who's really my inner circle and who's just my friend, you realize your inner circle is it's quite small. I think it has to be. Otherwise, we haven't got time to do them justice, to do that relationship justice. We just haven't, right? Anyway, I could talk all day, but so let's hear from Paul. How you doing,
exactly.
Paul? You're muted. Oh no, that was no. Ignore me. That was me. My bad. Now you're fine, Paul. It's me.
Hey, you got me finna start pressing this phone up, but
I
I
know.
can
I
hear you.
know. No, there was noise behind you, Paul. That's why I said,
How
that
you doing,
was
brother? How you doing, brother Mike? How you doing, brother Zion, brother Any? But I'm from Texas. I lost my wife of breast cancer. We were married for 20 years, together for 23 years. We had three beautiful kids. She was my high school sweetheart, and she died in front of me in ICU. And my brother died of suicide, and was with him when he died. So I guess like they call them ushers in the church. God had me usher them to Him, and I've been preaching since '08, well '07. I started preaching, and I've been in the Bible 30 years. And I came up with an invention after my wife died. She told me to go be happy. Some of her last words to me. So I started this thing where I take movies or videos and I take God's word and I'll blend it so kids can get a better understanding on how emotionally spirituality works, because you got to be emotionally sound in doctrine and in your mind, your body, and spirit. So I come up with a way, especially for people going through chemo, because my wife had it during COVID, so I couldn't go back there with her. I had the FaceTime, and kind of like Brother Any was saying, and I could tell she was scared because I know my wife all them years. So I asked her what she'd be doing. I'm calling her from the car, and she said, I'm watching TikTok. So I said I was gonna come up with a way that make the best TikTok videos ever, and look what it turned into, something pretty good. I don't know if it's the best ones ever, but I kind of like to brag on myself because me and God came up with this concept. And I thank Brother Any for giving me a platform to be able to talk about it. And I call it Go Get It University. I wrote a book. It's on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and also Kindle. And I'm going to write a book with Brother Any. It's going to be a more tell-all. That's just a 76-page book about my life, pretty much, and how God got me through every adversity I went through. My grandfather was a preacher, and my grandmother stayed at home, took care of everything. So God gave me a blueprint, if you will, of what a marriage looked like. My mother and father split up, so I had to start taking care of my brother at age 3. And my mother wasn't really around. I seen her like once a year. But to this day, I talk to her because I know she was a child going through stuff, and we all growing up. We all, just because we adults don't mean we ain't a child at heart. So we make wrong decisions when we're younger. So I forgave her for all that, and I love them all to death. So I'm taking care of my father here now. He has stage 5 cancer, prostate cancer, and it spread all over his body. So after my wife died, I jumped on my father, and so I'm taking care of him. I kind of feel like Job, so it's good. It's good to have a positive place to go to relax a little bit. So thank y'all for having me.
joining us, my friend. Thank you for always sharing as well. And I said, Linda and Rosemary, I guess they reflect what Yolanda's saying. Yolanda says, we'll keep you and your wife in prayer. Please send me your wife's name. You can send it a DM, or you can put it in the chat, or you can say your wife's name. Look, and I love the fact that you are that person. You're the person who's there for others. I think Mike said this quite a lot, right? We can't expect people to be there for us if we're. It's not what we can't expect. We ought not to expect. We shouldn't expect. We really shouldn't. This is all about what do we do for others?
Yeah.
I
And I
think.
found out. I found out the hard way when me and your wife died. I'm gonna tell you, ain't nobody coming to save you. Yeah, I mean, I had 3 kids. I had one going to college from the start of college, and I had to get her through college, and one through high school. The other one now in high school. She's a senior now. So the world don't stop just because you lose a loved one. I mean, your heart feel like it stopped. It feel like it shatters in pieces, and you don't know where to start to pick it up. But the reality is, you have to start your whole life over and rebuild, because all the plans you and your wife had is out the window. It's gone.
Yeah, but in all that, my friend, you found a heart. And I said
Yeah.
that is what I found. And I say this is what God calls on all of us to do. Again, I'm not religious. I'm just saying this. You have to find your faith somewhere, right? Your
Yeah.
faith
But
in you.
can I say this? I don't
Of
mean to cut
course,
you off,
go for
but
it. Now,
for everybody that don't believe in Jesus or God, whatever you want to name it, I believe in Christ. I believe in God, which is Jesus, his son. I believe this. You got 10 toes. You also got 10 fingers. He told Abraham, wherever you go, your feet will be blessed. That means wherever them feet go, they also got 10 toes. So 2 of your toes are different, like he talked about the 2 great commandments. Love God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and love your neighbor as yourself. And the only problem we have, we don't love our neighbor as ourselves because we don't love ourselves. And same goes for your hands. You have 10 fingers, so you've been marked, whether you want to believe it or not. So it's not a coincidence you got 10 toes and 10 fingers, and each thing can take you somewhere, and it can touch somebody, or you can hurt somebody with those.
Yeah, no, it's true. Now, if we look around us, now look, faith helps. Now, faith in whatever your greater power is. It gives us grounding, right? It gives, and look, I accept most religions have, you know, they mean goodness. The badness comes when the way we interpret it.
Yes.
That's on us.
Mhm.
But I think finding I call it the better partner, the better side of us, like finding our best side and bringing that to our relationships, our friendships, our, whatever the relationship is. That's our calling. And then, like as Mike said, that's where it all starts. We have to bring,
Yeah.
our kindness, our love for others, even our love for ourselves into all our
Amen.
relationships. Otherwise, we only bring in parts of us, right? It's so true. And Yolanda, I will DM you. I'll talk to Paul. I'll DM you Paul's wife's name. That way, she's doing her pink lemonade challenge. You should come and tell us about it, Yolanda. Laverne says we have to be there for others. What we have to be for others, what we would want for ourselves. It's so true, right?
Yes.
We can't
Yes.
expect people to give to us when we don't give to anyone.
No.
Praying for you and praying for you and your family, Paul. So
Thank you,
Yolanda,
brother.
so
Oh, and one
that's
other thing. Hey,
yeah.
amen. Amen. I know we get overlooked sometimes. I know the ladies do. I'm not talking to the ladies. I'm talking to the men. Y'all go out and get your feet done. It's okay. My wife took me out and I said, this is sissified. I'm not going to get my feet done. But hey, we tell you something. But when she died, I found myself creeping in there going to get it done, give me a glass of wine, understanding that, taking my hair down. So y'all got to treat yourself. You can't pour from an empty cup. I always say that. Make sure your cup is full and you give from the overflow. That's what I've learned since my wife died.
Yeah, no, it's look, spoil. Some of I think Mrs. Z mentioned we have to spoil ourselves. We have to, make some time make some space for ourselves.
Yes.
And if we don't give ourselves the love that we're talking about, then we can't love anyone else. That's the truth, right? And if we don't care for ourselves, how can we care for anyone? In
And
worst
there's a
ways, ways.
power, Annie, when you give to others, and particularly when you're the conduit that I'm talking about.
Mm,
You will, it's not just a feeling, it's not just an emotion. There is a power in
yeah.
releasing that love to another, and you will get it, whether it's money or whatever.
Mm,
And maybe we don't see the seeds that Brother Paul is planting, or that I'm planting, or that Margaret's planting, or that you're planting in our lifetimes. But we
mm,
are planting seeds. We're not planting them on our behalf, we're planting them on behalf of the kingdom.
I agree.
So I think we have to, but I can't believe sometimes, and I really have to, one of the things I'm really focusing on right now is gratitude,
Mm,
because I think sometimes in a busy world, that we get so wrapped up in events and all the negativity that we see on the news and elsewhere, that and as Paul had mentioned, we will have events in our life that are going to wipe us out. So if we don't have that, if we don't have a root to reach back to and to touch, a touchstone that of faith of whatever that is, again for me, I believe both logically and spiritually that it's our Creator, and Jesus. But if we don't have that, we're going to be devastated. And
mm,
part of that also is that circle of friends.
yeah.
Hopefully they're not like Job's friends. Um, but I think it's just so important to really realize, and Paul mentioned it too, is love your neighbor as yourself. In order
Mm,
to love yourself, you have to know that you're loved by God.
yeah.
And it's kind of in that order. And I think that's why Jesus said, love God with all your heart, soul and mind, and then love your neighbor as yourself. And I think as men, I'm just going to drop this, and Margaret, this is nothing against women, just for clarity, but men have been the breadwinners and such, and that, or at least that's my generation was brought up that way. And I really think that men need to start looking after themselves and getting together with men, being transparent, being humble, being honest, and just get in a men's group, get in a men's prayer group, whatever it is. Reach out and and
Mm,
and get with other men, because what we really need to do is teach our sons. I mean, our daughters too, but for me, I'm focusing on the male. We need to show what a godly man is,
Yeah.
and it's not a mamby pamby. It's not it's humility born in strength, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And I think that when you have that man that's the servant leader in the family, that we will see changes in culture. But if we don't have that, culture is going to continue to go really wacky in many wacky ways.
Hmm.
And Paul, I want to pray for. I'm not going to do it here publicly, but I will be praying for your father, and that both you and he get peace. I've
Yeah.
lost. I've lost.
That's hard. I know. Yes, Lord.
I
Yep.
lost two friends recently
Mm,
to cancer. One
mm,
was a childhood friend. That was last year, and then I lost another friend that I had kept in touch with for about 20
yeah.
years. And he just fought the good fight. They're both Christians. Not
Yeah.
that that matters, but they fought
It
the good
it,
fight.
it is not.
Well, I mean,
Long as
yes,
a Christian usually gonna have God in their heart. Long as they're not
yes.
eating off that tree of good and evil, they be judging people.
No,
That's
no,
what
no,
we
no,
get in
no,
trouble.
no. But I'm saying, as far as you feel the loss, regardless of.
Yes,
I
yes,
mean, of
Lord.
course, you're hoping that they are, and that they will. They'll get the reward that they're promised. But um, it's just so I and both of these men, I'll never forget. The both of them were such servants. The one used to joke around and everything, and here I am. I'm trying to uplift him, and he's cracking jokes, and he has stage 4 cancer. So and I was able to go to his funeral, so I actually wrote some songs for him, both before he passed and then after he passed. So I'm just saying, men, get together. Hopefully some of your inner circle, if not all of them, are men, and just get together, be humble, be honest, share openly, and get that support that you need, because I forget what the numbers are, but the suicide in men is nuts. And I
Yeah.
think in part it's because we're not reaching out to each other, and just being honest. We don't all have it together all the
No,
time.
no.
And that's all I got for Friday.
Thank you as always. I think you put it into context that this is not a meaningless conversation. This really means something. Who's in your circle does mean something, and I think we have to intentionally build that circle around us. Based on, say, what we give and what we receive. Everything has to work. This is not something that's going to go away. I'll probably come at it from a more light-hearted angle, but I think like our real friends, they're in our hearts. That's a point I take from your share, Mike. And we do well to make some really good friends. You know, it's too easy
And
to make bad friends.
Brother Mike, I'm gonna say this. This is what God helped me to see with my passing of my brother, my wife, my grandfather. He told me the love that they showed you is me working through them.
Mm,
So he never left you. So anybody in your life that's loving on you, that's him loving you. Because we can't comprehend his love, but we are just little droplets of God. So we go out and let our light shine until they go out. And we get to go home. So brother, that love that they were showing you was God showing you love through them. So that's why you must surround yourself with love and separate yourself from all evil.
I agree with you on that one, my friend. Thank you so much. Miss Margaret, my superwoman friend, how are you doing? You're
Hi,
muted.
Annie. I am blessed. How are
Yay.
you?
And
Hello, gentlemen.
thanks for joining us. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for the
Yeah.
invitation.
When's your next event? I was in your one last week. When's the next one? Weekend?
That's okay. Saturday, tomorrow, actually, with Paul, with Mr. Minister Paul Kirk Clayton of the Kirk
You
Ministry.
can you can just call me Kirk. You know what I mean? Hey, you can be laid
What do
back
you
with me.
say,
Hey,
preacher?
I done lost everything. It's time to be funny now.
Who's got a show tonight? Thursday, and I swear that's you, Margaret. No.
Uh, no, not tonight. What?
Okay.
Thursday?
It's
Today's Friday.
Friday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but tonight because we're ahead of you, times get bugged up with that.
Uh,
That's what I was doing. Anyway, no, it's not you. That's all right. I haven't missed it, so I'll be there tomorrow, of course. I said, do
oh,
connect with Miss Margaret if you want to go along to her show. She talks teens and looking after teens, raising teens the right way. And of course, she has a couple of books out as well. So, Miss Margaret, share with us. What's your take? How do you evaluate your circle? How do you intentionally build that circle of yours?
I intentionally build my circles now with beginning with my mindset and myself before I seek or talk about anybody. I have to make sure I'm okay. And I have set up those boundaries. I have done the self reflection. I have done everything before I can even, begin to even build my circle. And that's how I begin everything in life. And I speak about this that everything begins with you, your success as a parent, as a mother, as a child, as a, you know, uh, as anybody, really, for real, in society. Uh, and that's what everything begins, even in your professional life. Here on LinkedIn, it begins with you. So if my circle involves people that reflect me and that I reflect them, and they represent what they believe in, and they walk the walk, talk the talk authentically. I would have been here earlier, but I was just in the meeting with Marta Lobo Samaya, with Connect Impact Hub, and I'm also with Saving Teen Lives with Brother Christopher Monaster. He does that too. So my circle is like-minded people. And I'm just, I'm sorry for everyone's loss, gentlemen. My heart goes out to you. As you know, I did an event for Brother Damaris Media, who was a music composer, and he was here, and I would highlight him. He would come on the shows and everything, and he died from cancer too. So it is a loss, right? That you have to. Um, I don't want to say overcome. I don't want to say deal with. I don't want to say it gets better. I don't want to say all of those things that I don't personally like to hear. Um, but it's something you have to go through, right? And so my heart is with you through any loss that you have. And but that's the thing, right? Is that we rely on the circle that we have when we go through things like that. Your inner circle. There's circles too. There's professional circles, and there is also inner circles. So I always begin with my inner self, and then I begin with my inner circle, and then I go to my outer circle, right? So my inner circle involves, of course, family, what's within where I reside, my close family that I have, and the relations that I have with them. So in my corner, I would say my number one person is myself. I'm in my corner because I could either make me or break me. I could either cheer for me or I can be difficult on myself. So I choose not to be hard on myself, because how I treat myself, I'm going to treat my circle that way. If I am hard on myself, if I beat myself, I criticize myself, I'm going to do that to others. And it shows. So if you're criticizing others, if you're, bullying others, if you're not cheering or rooting, you're not doing it for yourself, right? If you feel threatened by others, you're threatened by yourself. And I kind of spoke on this the other day, and I was saying that the only fear we have is the fear of ourselves. We only have the fear of ourselves because that is exactly how powerful we are. And but yes, my quality of my circle is very important to me. But how I evaluate it and depends on what's within me. So everything begins with me. But thank you so much, Annie. And I'm really hoping that we do have that reunion for lessons we learned from COVID-19. Thank you.
The reunion would definitely have for sure. So no, thank you. Like I say, I love your share. It starts with us again. I think everyone said that so far, right? It does start with us. But of course, I love your mention of boundaries. We need to know, and maybe be clear. You know, when people cross our boundaries, is when we tend to think we're not aligned. Something's wrong here. But it is on us to set those boundaries first and tell and let people know what those boundaries are. Simple ones. For me, saying, "Can you call me at 3 in the morning, my time?" You can. I'll probably answer the phone. Yolanda tries to call me in daytime, and is nowhere to be seen, and is asleep. I
Which
don't wake
reminds me,
up. Go on, please.
sorry, I don't mean to
No, go
interrupt
for
you,
it.
but that reminds me of Yolanda and the lemonade. I was supposed to do that 3 years ago. Yeah, I'm just going to call myself out on that because 3 years ago. And so I need to do that lemonade that I said I was going to do. Life
Please.
was different then. And, but I am going to do lemonade, lemonade
Yeah, pink
Yolanda.
lemonade, the pink lemonade
I
challenge.
have not forgotten. I'm calling myself out on that, Miss Johnson.
Yeah,
So,
Miss
yes, in
Yolanda,
my truth.
she's still up for it. Again, that's just honesty for you, right? I'm sure Miss Yolanda, will happily involve you. So and, she mentioned that her uncle passed on the 9th. You lot right,
Oh,
your
I'm
date's
sorry
right.
to hear that, Yolanda.
Yes, for sure.
You know,
So
and
so
I need to do the lemonade for Damaris and play out his music. And I want to do it a certain way. I'm not going to do it just like a little lemonade stand. I want to have a DJ event out and do that and host that. So yes, yeah.
and,
But thank
again,
you.
I'm sure you have contact details and you're connected.
Yes,
Since
a
having
little bit.
conversations, if we can help or be part of it, then let us
Yes.
know. But Laura,
Thank you
for
so
me, I'm with you, Yolanda. Also, sorry about that.
much.
Look, I think the point, of course, say Rosemary says you're making great points, Miss Margaret. So I think that the point is not to, we don't need to wait. What are we waiting for? To be that good friend, whether it's professionally, whether it's personally, whether it's family. I'm saying, let's not wait. That's when I hear people pass away, it should be a reminder that we're not here forever.
Right.
That phone call you put off, you might not have it tomorrow.
Mhm,
They might not have it tomorrow.
mhm,
That's just the truth.
mhm.
I'm saying, now do it now.
Right.
If I think of someone and I think, let me get nice. And I know I haven't talked to them for a while. I will call them there and then. And literally, I'm the one who picks up the phone and says,
Mhm,
"Yeah, let's talk." I'm not going to send you a text because that's not enough. Going back to Mike's point earlier, real life interactions is what really counts.
mhm.
Whatever's real life.
Because if you sorry, brother, because if you don't, you're gonna live with that phrase "I shoulda," and I don't want to
Yeah,
have that "I
Mm,
shoulda,
shoulda."
coulda, woulda.
mhm,
All
mhm,
of
Yeah.
that, right? That
mhm,
don't help no one at all, at all, at
mhm.
all. Look, so this is an important point, and of course, I'll take away the point you made as well, Miss Margaret. We have to walk the walk and talk the talk, and not just talk the talk, right? Now we actually have to be the people that we say we are.
I
Look,
try not to should. I try not to should on myself. I mean, and
shoulda,
and
coulda,
and
woulda.
and to your point, it we should be men and women of our word,
Yes.
right? If we say we're going to do something, do it. If
Mm.
we say we're not going to do something, then we shouldn't do that either.
Yes.
Because I actually wrote an article on this. When we shrink, we
Mm.
are doing ourselves a disfavor, right? But we're also doing the person that needs
Mm.
that response, that pushback to whatever it is. I mean, if we really believe that whatever we're saying or whatever we need to do, and particularly as it relates to boundaries, because if we can't build and maintain our own boundaries, chances
Mm.
are we are not respecting others' boundaries. So
Yeah.
this is we need to be clear, and as Brother Paul would say, let our yes be yes and our no be no, right?
Mm.
But
Mm.
we need to be clear about what we will and won't take. I have a saying now, seek first to understand, uh, then be ready to be misunderstood.
Yeah.
That
I like
I,
that.
that's a perversion a little bit
Mm.
of Stephen Covey's. He says, "Seek first to understand, and then to be understood." And I still
Yeah.
believe that. But one of the things I had to learn, basically, relatively recently, was if we are doing what we're supposed to do for us and for our boundaries and for our children and everyone involved, chances are we will eventually, particularly if we're up against the dark side, so to speak, we will run into being misunderstood, regardless of our intentions, regardless of our actions. That I believe, and I wrote a song about this, that we are in a spiritual warfare, and I
Mhm.
think we forget that sometimes. But that will come into our lives in a way that we may or may not expect. I'm not saying look behind every bush
Mm.
for darkness, because I believe that war has already been won. But we have to really understand there are forces beyond us that are in action,
Like,
and we can be doing everything that we should be doing, from God's perspective, or our own, and then we will come under attack. And I think that when we do that, I think it's just real. It gets back to having good boundaries and that touchstone, that root to fall back on in our faith, because we don't want to stop. Like, I don't want to stop being giving and empathetic and lifting other people up. But then if that's not, if certain folks have shown that that's not, they don't want to uh you know reflect that, I'm not going to continue doing it, because to me, that you have, to your point, I have a saying, your freedom stops at my nose. So
yeah.
I have to draw that appropriate boundary to say, okay, at least for now. And
Mm.
I never close the door any, and folks on the panel and in the comments, I never lock the door. I can close the door, but I never lock it, because I'm
Mm.
hoping that as we learn and grow, in a season, maybe, that could be opened up again. But
Yeah.
I have to close it to draw that boundary to say, you've kind of shown yourself not to be, a person that's safe for me right
Mm.
now. So I'm gonna, put that on hold. And if and it's not just alignment, because I think sometimes we could be aligned, but we trip over ourselves. Whatever it is, our doubts, our fears. I would say fear is probably one of our biggest
Mm.
enemies. In business or personally. And
Yeah.
I always try to look at, if I'm experiencing fear, what is going on? Why am I fearful? Because I think if we are aligned in love, fear is not, fear has to, Bible says, love and fear can't coincide.
I
True
agree.
love
I agree.
casts out all fear, right?
Yeah.
And I'm
Right.
not saying, just for clarity, I'm not saying, hey, we're in a dark alley, it's things are a little scary. That's not what I'm talking about. I think that's probably wise to be a little cautious. I'm
Mm.
saying that we're not doing something that we know we should be doing in love, because we're fearful. Um,
Yeah.
that's what I got for you.
Yeah.
Well,
No, I think
I want.
Go.
I wanted to add to that, Mike. The Bible also tells us to sing a new song. And in order to sing this new song, you got to be authentic because your fingerprint is authentic. I mean, God made everybody different. So, in order to sing this song, you got to be authentically you. And then you got to tell people what God done for you in order to sing this song. And a lot of people are ashamed of themselves or think somebody that they're weird, but the Bible done said that we are peculiar people. So at the end of the day, that's the same thing as weirdos. So you got to sing that song. You got to sing that song authentically because everybody's been through something, but God brought them through different situations.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Look,
I say
right.
God loves us right in the middle of our mess. And
Yeah.
and well, because I think I'm not going to go into the my religion of origin, but that's not the
Yeah, but
message I
you
really
right.
got.
You right. You
That's
right.
not the really the message that I got growing
Mhm.
up. Is like God was like a Zeus throwing, thunderbolt throwing God, and I'm like, that's not the God I want to be, in relationship with. I'm not saying he might pull you up on occasion and show you some lessons, but
Hey, that
I,
rod of
I
correction is real.
but but I do believe. I mean, here's a being, right? And this just blows my mind. And if you can ever really kind of grasp this, you'll just be blown away that God so loved this human, this Mike LeBlanc human,
Mm,
that he somehow, and I still don't understand it, put himself into our flesh
mm,
into a fleshly body, spent 30 odd years, and then went through this metamorphosis. Yes, he died and then rose again, and he did it for us. That's the God
mm,
that loves me right now in the middle of whatever I'm going through. If I'm, I'll be honest right now. I have a few health issues that I'm a little worried about, and I need to focus. I need to get my eyes off of
mm,
the problems and look
mm.
up.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the other thing I'm going to talk about briefly is unforgiveness. And what I mean by
Yes.
that is if I'm mad at Any and my hands are around Any's neck because he did me wrong, um, that energy
Mm,
is taking away from me taking my hands off his neck and
yeah.
lifting up towards the creator. And just let's take religion out of it for a second.
Oh
If
boy.
any is renting space in my head because of all this negativity, I lose out. Mike
Yeah.
loses out. Mike's
Yeah.
relationship with his wife, his kids,
Yeah.
his friends, I lose out. So
Yes.
this is where I guess I'm really passionate about this concept
Mm,
of really taking a look at your friends and particularly your close friends and making sure that they're not fair weather, that they're not going to
mm.
just disappear on you when the S hits the fan. That's not a friendship or
Yeah,
or
don't be like
a
me.
circle.
Don't be like me. Yeah, I found out the hard way, brother. Yes, Lord.
Yep. Anyway,
Sometimes he got to remove some things. Then you'll see who's gonna really stick around when they
Yeah.
mess with mess.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, you're sharing the genius that we hope to get from this conversation. If you want to chime in, Miss Margaret, you feel free. Say when you speak, I'll keep quiet, right? Look, I thank you, Joyce, for your kind words, and to Yolanda for sure. Right, were you going to say something, Margaret?
Yeah, first of all, I apologize. I kept getting my computer kept restarting. I didn't understand that, but
It's
yeah,
LinkedIn.
like twice. And I said, okay, one more time, and three times the charm. If not, okay, I'm not meant to be. But yeah, I wasn't sure what y'all were talking about. I know I heard God in there somewhere,
Mm,
but my biggest input is if you're in, if you're not okay, in your space, in your head space, nothing's going to be okay in your life, right? And as far as how I view my creator, to me, um, everybody wants to serve one single God, but I
mm,
feel like Your God is what you created in your mind, what it means to you, what you have lived, right? So it's not the same thing for everyone, but I
Mm.
also feel you have to, you're going to be a reflection of that God that you have in your life. You're going to be a
Yeah.
reflection of that. So if you are claiming and you're saying you're a believer and you're saying this and that, but you're showing something different, then that is what you're creating, right? But you also have to give, I feel, give grace to others,
Yeah.
because you do not live in their, you do not walk in their shoes. You do not live in their head. You don't know what they're going through. And I'll tell you right now, humanity, everyone in humanity as a whole is going through something, and they're
Yeah.
going through something deep, whether it's hitting their family, or it's hitting them financially, or it's hitting their, whatever it's hitting something, it could be hitting their country, or, and we haven't even talked or touched about our veterans.
Mm.
They suffer so much. And, I have a lot of veterans in my family. So that's what I'm saying. You do not know the PTSD that people go through. So if you're expecting people to act a certain way, forget it.
Mm.
Forget it. You obviously are not a people person, because somebody who's a people person will be like, everybody as people go through what people go through, right? And the true lack, and I've always said this 3 years ago when I started on here, is the lack of respect for people.
Mm.
We need to bring respect back, because I feel respect has been lost.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it definitely needs to, respect for religion, respect for gender, respect for inclusivity, respect for other people that do not believe like you.
Mm.
And I don't believe in the shoulda, woulda, couldas either, because I was just talking to Marta about that. I wish we never had that in our vocabulary. But just because people are trapped in their past doesn't mean
Mm.
we have the right to judge them, right? That's their life, that's their walk, that's what they go through. So if we just have compassion and respect for others,
Yeah.
you know. But if we lack compassion and respect for ourselves, we definitely are not going to show it to humanity. That's my creator. That's what
Mm.
my creator believes in.
Amen. Amen.
But
Yeah.
thank you. And you
No,
can just,
thank you. Thank
And
you as well.
I've been judged. I've been judged when my wife died. I said I was gonna go out and have me a good time. I was mad at God. I was so mad at God because I said I've been serving you. I've been preaching since
hmm
2007. I was said, how can you take my wife? I never cheated on her. We never did this. We never. So I started getting a little resentment. So I said I'm gonna go to the club. I went to the club. I got some pictures taken me or whatever. But don't you know I found myself trying to save them women in in the club. So if somebody seen me, they was like, "What is Brother Clayton doing?" But at the end, I was fighting with God, kind of like Jacob was wrestling with God. When he
hmm
was going to meet his brother. So I believe that Bible shows us every step we're gonna go through in life, you're gonna feel this and that. And it's there. And that's why Peter said, don't be surprised when you go through these fiery trials, because even through the word, it's gonna show you what you're gonna be feeling. But I didn't understand that. But it's a Psalms in there, Psalms 88:18. It says, you have taken all my close ones and loved ones,
Mm.
and darkness is my closest friend. I understood that when I was going through all that, and that's what brought me out because I was in what they call autopilot, where you just going through the day like a zombie. You just you just trying to make it work. But
Mm.
when that scripture came through, that's when that whole Bible opened up to me, and I had been in it for years.
I think many of us are on autopilot. Really. We're coming towards the end of our show. So we lost Mrs. Z, which is unfortunate. I thought I was hoping we'd come back, but we'll come back to him. There's many points. I think the point about forgiveness. I think that's probably a conversation for itself.
hmm
So I'll talk to Zion and find out whether we can bring that as a topic somewhere in this conversation as we do. Because I think that is so important, right? And
And
it's
forgiving
easy. It's
yourself,
easy.
Annie. Forgiving
Yeah.
yourself too. because
exactly. No,
when Margaret says,
That's what it's about.
yeah,
exactly.
when Margaret said I honestly, I live it every day.
Mm,
I can't live if I got to start with me
mm, mm.
because if I don't, how am I going to
You
act in the
don't.
world? As Margaret was talking about, how am
Yeah,
I going to show grace if I can't show grace to myself? And
Yes.
yeah.
I'm raising my hand. You can't see it right now. I am one of the worst at all this negative stuff about me. I'm not good
Mm,
enough. I don't,
mm.
I don't do enough. Whatever it is, I'm not enough. You are enough. God loves you right in the middle of your mess enough.
Yes, no, for
And
sure.
if that is true, then you can
Mm.
look at other people in grace. But you
Yes,
Yeah.
can't, if you don't have grace for yourself, if you can't forgive yourself, if you
That's
don't
it.
love yourself, and I'm not talking about narcissism, if you really have
mm,
unconditional love,
mm.
if we are being imagers of the God that I believe in, we will reflect what he is. What is
Yeah,
his general character? He
mm.
is unconditional love. We will reflect that if we believe it for ourselves and
Man.
if we believe that he loves us first.
So
The
true.
Bible
No,
says. The Bible
it,
says
it,
that
yeah.
anyway.
I, I,
That's all I got for you,
I
buddy.
think as people, as business owners, as people who at work, we have those expectations, Mike, that when someone does not meet expectations, we turn into dislike, right? And we hate them, is what we say to ourselves. I just don't like them. I really hate them. But again, as I think, as you're saying, Mike, look, it took me a long time to learn genuinely that, as Miss Margaret said, people have their own issues. They got their own reason for doing what they do. Look, I'll be honest with you. See, my thing in business, what really used to what used to really get to me is when someone pays me late or doesn't pay me. Because I run a business, right? And I got staff
Yeah.
who need pay me. I got to pay them. If I've done the work for you, why haven't you paid me?
Right.
So let's use that. So I think from what Mike's talking about there, the question I had to ask myself, is why haven't they paid me? Oh, it's something I did wrong. Maybe the work wasn't good enough. Maybe they hate me. Maybe that's what it is. They said they're disrespecting me, so I have to hate them. And I did that for years. Literally, I could kill a man for not paying me.
Because
Now,
at the end of the day, you gave him something that you can't get back, and that's your time. And that's the least
yeah.
they can give you is a little money for your time. So
You
at the
see,
end of the day,
but even then, look, it's never been. I've never died when someone hasn't paid me. That's what I realized, right? And I've learned to come to terms with humans are humans, people are people. They got their
yeah.
own things going on, whatever that is, right? I give you an example tonight. There's a client I've been doing marketing for. I was doing marketing for. Where are we now? Probably this time last year, right?
Mhm.
We agreed a 4 month contract. He paid the first two, then didn't pay the other two. And
Right.
so and I had the I'm so angry moment, and I was like, any grow up really. It's, again, I'm not saying people won't let you down; they will, but if they're not letting you down, we're letting ourselves down because the
Yes.
solution to that situation is not for me to go and kill him. The solution is for me to get more
It's your
clients,
choice.
more income. It's how
It's your
business should run,
choice.
right?
It's your choice. You want to get up angry, or you want to get up, you know what I'm saying, happy. So,
No points. No,
it's up to
look,
you.
look. No, see, I'll tell you. I said, look, I learned to calm myself down and build a better business. Right now, when it didn't pay, I've spoken to him many times, many times, many times. Right? Do you know what? His money came to my account today. Right.
You
I
see?
said it's a lesson. Like, it's a lesson.
Yeah.
I didn't have to torture myself for like, all year, for a whole year.
So we eating steaks today. He got checked. You got paid today. You see?
Yeah, they paid me. So
Hey,
no, really,
pull
no,
up the barbie. Pull up the barbecue. We can grill some nice
this is
steak
why I'm
and
talking about it
shrimp
because
sandwich.
I think we're so quick to dislike, we're so quick to hate, we're so quick to be angry with Whereas like we know we can just learn to look at life a bit differently, and be, I mean, you mentioned authenticity. So as Mike, so as Mrs. Z, right? I'm sure Margaret has too. Being our real selves, and authenticity doesn't mean that we have to bring our pains to all at all times. I think the real us, we were born and we were made kind. We're born kind people. That's all we have to bring to the world. Our real self, our kind selves. And to that, whatever that means to you, my friends, that's what it really means to keep it, in a circle, in a circle of friends, that we can turn up and be ourselves, be our kind selves, our good selves. The rest of it, I tell you,
Because
Mike, you're saying this earlier.
there's never gonna be another any. So I need to know who any is. You see that? So we
Exactly.
gotta see.
Look, and Mike, I'm with you. We're burning energy and emotion. That's what it is. We're burning emotions, on other people when we just dislike them. It's easier to I guess, as for Mrs. Z's topic today, we need to work out who's who. And Mike said something earlier. Some people are here for a reason. Some people are here for a season. Just know who they are, right? Again, so we're all very good at numbers. How many connections do I have? How many followers do I have? How many friends do I have? No, 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 no. So, for me, my simple way of navigating this topic is, I want friends that I can rely on. I want friends that will be there for me, just like I'll be there for them, right? You know, so that's how it has to be. That's why I do it. Every so often, I did this the other day. I go through my LinkedIn connections, and I delete, I unconnect with about 100 people at a time, because I do events, right? And if someone doesn't come to my event, I'm not gonna hate them. I just have to work out, why did they connect with me? Is it for a reason, or is it to be my friend? What you find most people connect with you to try and sell you something, right? I'm saying, there's not. I don't. Why keep those connections? They don't support you. They won't show up for you. They won't speak up for you. They won't even do business with you.
Vampires.
I tell you, get rid of them. Delete them, not with anger. Just delete them, knowing what they are, knowing how you got there. At the same time, I don't connect with people just to be selling to them. But I will say, I'll make this point, which I think Miss Margaret said very well. I think just by saying to myself, any, you have to be careful who your connections are, who your friends are. You will attract the right people in time. Now that intentionality makes it. It makes all the difference. If you never say to yourself, "I'll be a bit careful with who I connect with and who connects with me and who I'm friends with," you're gonna just carry on picking up anyone and everyone. Again, in my life, you know, it, it's strange when I look around me and I see most of my friends are authors. Most of my friends are authors. Nearly all of them are authors, right? Doesn't mean I don't make friends with people who are not authors. Of course I do. No, but then this is the conversation we're having. We raise each other up, in the direction we're going in, right? Like, my friends they want to serve the world with their gift, with their knowledge, with their insights. Now, am I a conduit, as Mike said? Maybe. I'll take it. But essentially, if you when you begin to set out who you are with clarity, and who you want to connect with, who you want to be friends with, those people will come to you as if by magic. And the wrong ones will begin to disappear. The ones who are here for a season begin to go. They've served their purpose, they go. They don't serve me anymore. Goodbye. It's fine. I don't hate you. Again, I think I love Mike's point that he said, look, I don't close doors on people. Maybe, I don't know. We're not for, our friendship has run its course for now. but tonight it doesn't mean we can't be friends, good friends a year from now.
Mhm.
No, really, I say, I speak it out to my friends. I know. I say that Miss Margaret and I had this conversation. If I haven't had a conversation with you, but here's how it works, all right? It's a simple one. Look, even if I don't talk to you for a year, next time we talk after that, we're just gonna go back as if much like today. Are you with me? Nothing's changed. So I get freaked about people who change during the course of our friendship. That's when I say, okay, it's run this course. We need to go our separate ways for at least for now. But we have to leave the door open for people to come back when the time is right. A friendship is a real friendship in your soul. Can you have real friends in business? I think you can. Really, I think all my clients are my friends. Really, like I just mentioned that the man who paid me today. Even though there was an issue between us, the money, still, we left a space in our hearts to be friends. I'm saying we can all do that.
Yes.
But let's be honest as well. If someone's not serving us, let them go. If someone's not helping us, let them go. If someone's not there on our side, if someone's not on our wavelength, on our aligned with our mission, let them go. I let people go, like I say, every day. Really, really, I do. I don't get rid of someone. I don't remove someone from my connection, my friendship, my network because they do or don't do. It's more. Are they on a journey to serve people? Yes or no?
Yes.
And so all my friends, we're on a journey to serve to make a better world, and that's
Because
how I
when you
treat my friends.
when you think about it, everybody that comes into your life, whether it's the people, the cars,
Mm.
the house, the clothes, everything is temporary. And
Yeah,
500 years from now, my descendants gonna be gone west, yours might be gone east, but right now we meeting together to build something so they can go on their way with a better viewpoint of
for
the world.
sure, for sure, for sure. And look, we can all play a role in someone's journey. I think that's what God's called on us to do, right? That's what our God's telling. That's what we're here for.
Yes.
And I think it's about all of that only happen, when we have kindness in our soul, goodness in our soul.
And
And
brother
then
Ani,
if, like, God, Mike, God, Mike.
I'm gonna answer your question. You are a conduit.
Thank you.
When you
I can
are
accept that.
raising, well, no, when you're raising visibility,
Mm,
when you are chairing or involved in the show with Zion and you're lifting people up.
mm,
In your other shows, when you're helping people gain visibility, when you are exposing authors, bring lifting up authors, that's all. Yeah, of course. We hope that get a earthly reward as well,
mm,
right?
mm,
But
mm,
I keep on thinking when I do this, and particularly if it's pro bono, I get so much, and I've done a fair amount of this uh, recently,
mm,
and it was like I mentioned in the comments, I had written a song for this gentleman that is a pro photographer, and he just celebrated 50 years of photography, and he has pictures of people like Lady Gaga, the Pope, J Lo. um, it's just incredible. He's an incredible photographer.
mm,
But I didn't do it because I wanted anything from him. I did it because he was actually on a show with Americo. And I jumped on stage, I talked to him, and I said, I gotta write something for this guy to celebrate him.
mm.
And I think when we do that, so you're celebrating and raising visibility of pretty much everyone, but particularly your authors, because they need their voice, they need a voice through their books,
Yeah.
and you're doing that. So you're absolutely a conduit, my friend.
Thank you. I do take that as kind words, and I take that as valid. Maybe it's a sense of fulfillment in what we do, right? I think for me, it comes back to the question that I think that was asked earlier. What do what do you bring to this circle of people? We'll want, well, unless we bring something, why should we have why should we be part of this circle? I mean, we all see this every day. People who they want something, they want the wealth, they want the friends, they want the mastermind, they want the network.
Yeah.
And then when you say, well, what do you bring into the network though? And then they look at you funny as if, trick question, you know.
I don't
They
think
was
they
trying to
think,
sneak past the guard. That's what.
but I don't think they look, and I'm not going to pick on salespeople, but I think there's two types of salespeople. There's people
Mm,
that are
mm.
interested in relationship and a longer term, win-win. In other
Yeah,
words, if a good salesman is selling me something, he's going to be concerned about that I get what I need, right?
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
I recently got a car. My salesman stepped me through the whole process. It was a car that apparently was having trouble getting out of the factory, or it was taking a while. And he
Mm,
he just stepped me through the whole process. He kept me updated, and they didn't rip me off horribly.
mm.
So I'm gonna feel good about that dealership, and I wrote actually a really nice review for him on Google, and the dealership, and I said, in essence, this is should how it should be with any
Yeah,
sales, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
so then I guess what I'm saying is we will attract what we are giving. If
I
if we are
agree.
taking, right? If we are take, we're going to attract other takers. I
I
don't know about
agree.
you, but
I
that's
agree.
not
I
that
agree.
that's not the circle that I want. I
Yeah.
want I want now to be honest, it should be give and take. I don't like to give and then
Mm.
see nothing, but there's times and like with anyone we can run into tough times, so I think we
Yeah.
do need to be ready to give, but
Yeah.
then
Yes.
hopefully I think a God is a merciful God, that he will have someone else if that person can't give at that time and in that season. But
Mm.
I after a while, if it's take, I'm gonna go. I don't know. Something seems a little off here. Maybe
Yeah.
I need to, draw a boundary, back to boundaries, and particularly on LinkedIn. I'm just gonna drop this and then I'm gonna shut up. Um, I have really had trouble both with LinkedIn's algorithm and what is happening lately with 360 Brew. I think
Mm.
it is forcing our behaviors in ways that we may not even realize to focus on reach. Because it used to be, oh, I get 10,000 followers or whatever. I'm like, all I care about now is this group right here. That
Mm.
reaching out
Mm.
on these
Mm.
shows. That's it. I'm not gonna get 10,000 followers. I don't even know if I'm gonna keep on posting because I, I may even just switch over to Substack or something, because I just feel that it's become so performative, and that we are so I mean, we need to get the information out, whatever our business is, and I'm not against,
Mm.
doing business, but I think we need to focus on the relationships, and then the
Yeah.
business comes out of that. And the
Yeah.
same thing for
I agree.
collabs, same thing for with all this, and I'm going to embarrass you. You are, I look at you as a uh, a leader that is, you know, kind of putting your money where your mouth is, so to speak. And you're being a good example both for all of us, but for the next generation too. This is so important to
Yeah.
me, as our kids are really struggling with whatever it is in their lives, depression, all this stuff,
Mm.
and again, particularly the boys in a lot of cases, uh, and they need that father figure, or that uncle, or whatever you want to call it. They need a good male figure, and I think it's just so important today that we're authentic, we're
Hmm.
transparent,
I
and
agree.
that we're humble. And bro,
I agree.
again, I'm not trying to shame you because in no way. I believe you have awesome humility, which I think is so important to model to everybody, to our
Hmm.
brothers, but also to our sons.
Yeah, no, thank you again. I always thank you for your kind words. My blessing is that I've got all of you who are pretty much the same, right?
I
We're on
want
the
to
same
call you
path, my
Guru.
friend.
I want to
No,
call you the Guru. He's the
no,
Guru. Look at him.
no,
Mr. Wisdom.
we're all doing the same thing, Mike, for sure. I said we all know. Again, I can't. There's a few people I can probably point to and say they're not like us. That's what they're not my circle. You're not gonna find them around me because I don't invite them. I don't call them. I don't. They're not here to support us, so it's fine, right? But Mike, I think we'll have that role to play for sure. I was like Obia, how you doing, Jeremiah? I see you, right? Look, I think that no, maybe I'll probably end it on this point. I think good friends give and good friends receive both with grace. That's these are the friends I have. And if they need help, they will reach out and say, can you help? Or at least for Alpha, they will say, yeah, okay, of course. And those there's people who don't want help because they think they're better than us. They think, who are you to know? I'm better than you, so it looks funny or whatever they think. I'm saying, receiving with grace and giving with grace and pleasure is this is what real friends do, right? Whether it's one person, whether it's 10 people, if you can keep 10 people, good on you. I don't think we can. I think you're lucky if you got more than two friends. Two. This is why we talk about best friends in life. I'm saying we have one or two. But look, on a professional scale, again, it can sound like the more,
Jesus.
the more, the more, the more, the more, the more. It's not true, right? I tell
Okay.
my clients literally, you're best off talking to a few people who you get to know really well.
Mhm.
What Mike said about LinkedIn, I'm saying make a few really good friends. That's enough, right? From there you grow, you attract more of the right people, and that's how life really works. There's no point having 10,000 connections that you don't know who they are. Everyone I connect with, first night I offer them is a meeting. Let's meet. I want to know what you do. That serves
Mhm.
me. It helps me grow my business. But when I tell some of my clients that strategy, they're like, "Oh no, it's too slow." No, it's not too slow because they're not going nowhere because they're trying to talk cold to everyone and they speak to no one. There's a nice that circle of ours has to be managed. It has to be carefully curated, and sometimes you gotta let some people go. That's life.
Mhm.
Do it.
Mhm.
Let's do friendship with joy and kindness, as you've all said today. Look, I will thank you all for joining us. As now our time is long, long gone, but no, thank you so much for sharing with us,
It
Paul.
wouldn't be you if it wasn't. Thank you so much, Jenny. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. It was
We
nice
call
seeing
him
thank
overtime.
you.
He put that
you.
overtime in. Yeah.
I tell you, but you're still here, so you're part of the ones who keep giving, right?
Hey,
You
I'll
know,
stand. I'll stand with you. Don't worry about it. Hand me the rifle, Captain. I'll stand right.
You're
I
funny.
got you.
Y'all have a
you
blessed day, gentlemen,
Y'all
and
have a
be
blessed day.
well.
Thank y'all for
Stay
having me.
well. Bye,
yeah.
God
Take care.
everyone.
bless you,
God
Thank
bless
you,
you,
Margaret.
Annie.
God
Margaret.
bless
Thank
you.
you, Annie.
Enjoy your weekend, my friends. We'll see you tomorrow, Miss Margaret. You
And
See you,
know.
God bless
Annie.
you, Yolanda. If you still on here, God bless you. I'm praying for you, sister.
Yeah, no, thank you
Blessings.
so much for your kindness, my friends. It's what friends do, right? Look, you take care, so we'll talk, right?
Yes, sir. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye bye.
Enjoy
Bye.
your weekend, my friends. Take care. Bye bye.
Cheers.
Find what is that beginning end? Which one's that one? Yeah. Every second forward is a new beat to your drama. She's success with global.media.com and celebrating with or without champagne or rum. She's success with global.media.